Oh, how was I supposed to know that it would stop working? I didn't know that.
Well, I wouldn't worry, Bradley. I mean, who hasn't experimented by shoving a raw baked potato up their exhaust in the hope that it would blow their spud out?
Oh, my can of beans is full. I haven't busted my balls in 20 minutes. Looky here.
My pipes need a clean as well.
There's a man in a pug mask in the middle age now.
Ooh.
You reckon they're up for a bit of perverted fun, boy, though?
Oh, I do hope so,
Ooh.
Bradley. I'm up for a right royal foursome.
Ooh, a dog egg.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello.
You alright, are you?
I'm Janet.
Janet!
This is Bradley.
My name's Riff Raff. This is Dr. Puggenfurter.
I'm from Austria. Yes.
Right.
How are you? How are you?
We're good. How are you?
Oh, God, I'm fine, thank you.
We were wondering,
Oh.
are you up for a bit of fun?
Up for a bit, shall we have a bit of fun?
Suppose
You can come
so.
around our house.
Oh, we've got hot chocolate.
This is your house?
It's regal.
Oh,
Come in, come in. Whoa, this ain't no Eglow Tower sex dungeon now, is it, my lord?
no. Oh well. Well then, lads, shall we get down to it, you saucy buggers?
Oh, we're going to have such fun. We're going to play Rocky Horror, the computer game.
What the fuck?
Back in the 80s and 90s, movies tended to have a game license. Well, I say movies, action movies. Even stuff like Red Heat. Who likes Red Heat? Navy SEALs? Do you even remember Navy SEALs as a movie? Nightbreed? Then there's stuff like Warlock and Three Ninja Kids. But one movie you wouldn't expect to have a licensed game is a erotic horror musical. And of course, there's only one horror erotic musical I can be talking about right at this moment. It is the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Well, I thought my balls would be getting wet by now, my lord.
You, sir, promised us fun. And you said that you'd give me something black, hard, and at least 10 inches long.
Wow.
Well, yes, the ZX Spectrum. But, you know, before we let you guys have a go, why don't we talk about the source material on what this game is based?
Oh, is that a video there? Oh, alright, I hope it's one of them there kinky videos. Oh.
The Rocky Horror Show is the longest running contemporary musical in the world, making its debut in the Royal Court Theatre upstairs for a month in the summer of 1973. It was the brainchild birthed from the bald skull of Mr. Crystal Maze himself, Richard O'Brien, who at the time of its inception was a heel-kicking out-of-work actor with a love of early cinematic science fiction and B-movie horror. In that era, the biggest pop culture phenomenon was the rise of early glam rock, which O'Brien claims allowed him to be himself and allowed the concept to come into being. Glam rock was, of course, very camp, and, well, Richard is not the sort of chap that would challenge you to a game of darts at a flat-roof pub, own an XL bully, or walk through muddy puddles on the way to his white van with a copy of The Sun under his arm. He is camper than Christmas itself, and God bless him for it. O'Brien met with Australian theatre director Jim Sharman, who had won great acclaim on his Antipodean productions of Jesus Christ Superstar and Hair. The cast, even back then in its nascent days, in the 63-seater auditorium, featured the legendary Tim Curry as Dr. Frankenfurter, who played the part with signature aplomb, deciding that his delivery should not just sound like a queen, but the Queen, as in the Queen of the United Kingdom. From there, the show grew and grew into bigger venues like a transvestite goldfish. His big moment was when it went to its next destination, away from London's West End, the following year, in early 1974. That place was Los Angeles. Curry went across the pond, where he was joined by, among others, Meatloaf. It's getting a bit like the Avengers, this, isn't it? And it was a smash hit. And soon the movie was begat in the space year of 1975, featuring such luminaries as Loaf, Curry and Susan Sarandon in lead roles, to an initial reaction of shrugged shoulders. It did so poorly that it got withdrawn from several cities a few days after its release. But then, Fox executive Tim Deegan stumbled upon a lifeline for the ailing release: the midnight cult movie showing. This had previously brought new life to counterculture films like Pink Flamingos and Reefer Madness. And let's just say this: it was a bloody good move. People began turning up in their droves, dressing in drag, singing along with the signature tunes, and spreading the word of this strange and surreal musical. It ceased to be a movie, and it became an interactive experience. As a result, it now holds the record for being the longest running theatrical release in movie history, as some 48 years later, it is still being shown in limited venues across the world. It has never left the cinema. The story is of a young couple that stumble across a spooky-looking castle owned by a transvestite scientist, as you do, and his weird crew of pals. Frankenfurter, as well as trying to bring life to a handsome blonde man called Rocky, finds time to seduce the formerly reserved pair and liberate them sexually. Lots of songs and silliness ensue. It is a laugh riot. Watch it and be drawn into its garishly camp world, you goddamn heathens.
Come on, Dr. P, let someone else have a go.
All right. Who wants to go on my joystick then?
Oh, I'll say.
There you go, dear.
Hey. Okay.
Oh, I wonder what kind of doctor this WerePug is.
Oh, he assembles dead bodies.
Oh, right. Oh, right.
It's a Halloween special though, so it's a light-hearted one. I don't think anybody's going to get murdered.
Oh, that there'll be good. That there'll be good.
CRL Group, who we've previously covered in the review of the little-known game based on Terrorhawks, released a game based on the musical in 1985 for the Apple II, the Commodore 64, the Spectrum 48K and the Amstrad CPC. The game starts with a rendition of the show's most famous song, The Time Warp, along with sing-along lyrics and some little dancing sprites, which is one of the few examples of an 8-bit computer teaching you how to dance. Get used to this BP interpretation of the Time Warp, by the way. It'll be with you for the entire duration of your playthrough, and it never ever stops. I hope you like it, unlike Tim in Spaced.
Hate the Time Warp. Daisy likes it. So what? I hate it. It's boil-in-the-bag perversion for sexually repressed accountants and first-year drama students with too many posters of Betty Blue, the Blues Brothers, Big Blue and Blue Velvet on their blue bloody walls!
Then you get the option of choosing either Brad or Janet, the young couple who found themselves in this large and undoubtedly cum-drenched medieval fort. There's no difference in your character selection, they play exactly the same. Your partner has been gargoyled into stone by the Medusa machine, and the castle is about to fly off into the horizon as a spaceship. So you must do what you can to locate the 15 broken parts of the Medusa machine to unstonerize your lover and hightail it out of there before terra firma is left as a speck in the distance. You will be pacing throughout the 2-story citadel in an action-adventure in your attempt to rescue your paramour. Locked doors are scattered throughout this vast dwelling, which can be opened by keys scattered around the premises. There will be vital Medusa machine pieces behind those heavy oak barriers, that is for sure. There are also strange things going on behind these doors too, such as game-ending laser beams that can strike you, and rooms with a hallucinogenic bent and a clear nod to the hedonistic lifestyle of debauchery, what with all the syringes and whatnot. Also along to cause Brad and Janet trouble are the denizens of Frank's castle, who can cause you a fair amount of hassle, let me tell you that. Some will merely give you a few musings should you walk into them. Others, like Riff Raff and Eddie, will attempt to murderize you with laser gun and motorbike respectively, while Magenta will debag you and have you continue your adventure with your nips out and your undercarriage flesh obscured by your coquettish mitts. That's mitts. Other than your encounters with Eddie and Riff Raff, you'll be okay. But each encounter with one of the guests in the castle will slow you down and will make an appearance with one of those roustabouts more and more likely. To make matters worse for our heroic pair, you can only carry one piece of the shattered machine at a time. So you will be toing, and you will indeed most certainly be throwing, sometimes even if the bits are all located in one particular room. It is a game that had a rather mixed reaction in the press at the time of release, which I shall get to in a minute. But do you know what? I really, really like the Rocky Horror Show, the game, a lot. I'm in the camp with this. It doesn't look anything special, but you know what? It plays really well. It's a game that randomises the placement of the required pickups, which extends the longevity of the game, but with each playthrough you'll make more and more progress in your mission to locate those 15 pieces, as you'll learn more about the castle layout and its inhabitants and how to evade them. It makes for an addictive experience, and the challenge isn't anywhere near as punishing as some of the levels on a Jet Set Willy, say. The map's a lot smaller, you'll get to know the castle, and you'll get to enjoy its silliness. It's also the sort of quirky nonsense license that absolutely is in its spiritual home on the microchips of an 8-bit computer. These were the Wild West days of computer game production, and as it appeared later on a 16-bit console, or later than that, I fear it would have been homogenised by some bigwig and would have been made a lot more boring than the game we have here. Indeed, there was a point-and-click adventure released in the late 90s, and although it got a lot of the surreal humour right, there's something about this that makes it feel that it's its own thing, that it's not a tribute to the show itself, but a sort of companion piece, if you will. I don't know if I'm making that clear, but it doesn't really matter. I don't get paid for this anyway, do I? So while I do appreciate the criticism of the original Rocky Horror Show, the game, and certainly see why others might not enjoy it as much as I do, but I certainly did enjoy my time with Frankenfurter and his menagerie of oddities. I enjoyed it so much I've now got a sore bum. I meant from sitting there and playing through it to its conclusion, you filthy pigs.
War, this game, dear, will be really good at being your dear. War.
Yes. Oh, thank you for this. This has given us a completely different outlook on the world via completely off-screen and underwritten character development.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, but I need you to leave because I've got to drag my bum across the floor as worms are really awful, especially this time of year.
Oh, no wonder will we ever get more sexual diseases from these strange encounters we have with ETs, do we?
Well, I tell you what, I'll order us a C64 off of Amazon, and then we can play all these retro delights.
We'll save you money on Caniston.
War, that there it will do. Get one of these more gamers.
Right, get out then, get out, bugger off.
Come on, Ed.
Come on.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Hey.
See you later, thanks for coming.
So what did the magazine say? Well, CMVG loved it in their issue 45. They said Rocky Horror looks good, sounds good, and is very addictive, just like the show itself. It got their Blitz Game Award and a 10 for playability. Sinclair user were less keen. They gave it a 3 out of 5 in their August 1985 issue. They said if you enjoyed the film and want to play a better than average take of the game, then this CRL game will be in your favour. They found it weirdly addictive. Zap, they only gave it 43% in their August 1985 issue. They said the Commodore 64 version was not quite as good as the Spectrum one, and said although it is playable, the lasting appeal is short and won't take too long to solve.
Well, they were nice.
Weren't they just? Let's hope they have a lifetime free of genital warts and empty sexual encounters from now on.
Yes. Right. I'm off to bed.
Alright. Night night, don't let the bed bugs bite. Oh, that's my phone. Hello?
Hello. Is that Puglis Shagums?
Yes. Oh, you must be Lady Sir Pegs-a-Lot from Adult Friend Finder.
I've got the Vaseline and dildo strap on. Do you need anything else?
Can you bring some Skittles?
Alright, love. I'll be there in 5. Start splaying yourself loose. I need easy access, as I've got big bingo at 8.
Oh, I'm gonna get some action. Oh, come out, Mr. Gimp.